Okay, students, we are starting with the very important concept of the metallurgy. Okay, metallurgy is a very neglected portion, but there are lot of scope from this chapter and that too scoring chapter. That too it is a scoring chapter because there are very less things to read, less thing to understand, but still you can score good marks. Okay, I'm not saying that every time there will be a question, but the questions which are coming, they are very easy. The questions which are asked in the examination, they are very easy in comparison to other parts of the chemistry. So chapter is a very scoring chapter. So it is, and in that only one tough topic is there, that is element diagram. Okay, remaining all parts just you have to remember, read and remember. That's why this concept I have picked up to explain you. Okay, this requires lot of explanation, lot of logic you have to understand, and the advantage of the beauty of the difficulty of this topic is it is a multi-concept topic. That means you should know 2 to 3 chapters to understand this process. Okay. So first let us start with the Ellingham diagram. So before start anything, first question it arises in your mind is why it is required. Okay. Then you will get interest. What for it is used, if you know, then you will get an interest. Okay. So froth flotation. Okay. Froth flotation. Sorry. Ellingham diagram. Okay. Ellingham diagram. Ellingham diagram is used in a process known as pyrometallurgy. Which metallurgy? Pyrometallurgy. It is a part of metallurgy. Okay. What is pyrometallurgy? Pyrometallurgy is a process in which heat is used for extracting a metal. Pyrometallurgy is a process in which heat is used for extracting the metal. Pyro means heat. Okay. Pyrometallurgy. So Ellingham diagram used in pyrometallurgy. Okay. And what is the advantage? Before doing the reaction only we can identify what are the conditions required. Okay. This is a theoretical concept which applied practically. Theoretical concept without doing anything we can understand from this. Okay, that is called as in word it is called as a predicting. What it is called as predicting. Okay, predicting feasibility of a reaction, whether a reaction is occurs or not. Okay, whether a reaction occurs or not is explained. Whether a reaction occurs or not is explained just because of the without process, without even starting the process. Okay, you can identify if that reaction is going to occur or not. If occurs, then what must be the experimental condition? They are called as predicting the feasibility. Okay, so that's why the Ellingham diagram is most useful. Lot of expenses will be saved in the metallurgy if you are perfect with the Ellingham diagram. Okay, so if you happen to be a chemical engineering in future, it is going to help you a lot. So that's why in career point of view also it is more important, and in examination point of view also it is scoring. Only thing you have to work hard only for some minutes. Some time if you spend with a lot of concentration, and if you make a good note of it, it is going to give you a good marks. Okay, are you ready? So Ellingham diagram is used in pyrometallurgy, where it is used for extracting a metal just by heating. Okay, so as I told you, it is a multi-concept. So before understanding this, you should know the some basics of the thermodynamics. Okay, so Ellingham diagram is basically application of thermodynamics for metallurgy. Okay, using the concept of thermodynamics. Concept is of thermodynamics, but used in the metallurgy. Using the thermodynamics for the purpose of metallurgy is called as a Ellingham diagram. Okay. So before you understand Ellingham diagram, you should know the some basics of the thermodynamics. Only basic in the sense it does not mean that it will take around 20 to 15 minutes. It is within a fraction of minutes. Okay, you will be able to understand that concept which I am going to take is Gibbs-Helmholtz equation. Okay, So delta G, what is that formula which we are going to use over here is delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. Delta H minus T delta S. Okay. So I am building up the concept so that in future when I am explaining, the lack of this knowledge should not make you unaware of the explanation. Theory concept should not be left because of this. Actually, you should understand this well before in your previous classes only. But if you could not understand, that is going to hamper you here. That's why I am introducing this. Okay. So delta G is called as a free energy change. What it is called as? Free energy change. Okay. And free energy change must be negative for a reaction to be spontaneous. Okay. Reaction to be spontaneous. That means feasible. Whether a reaction is feasible or not, just by the sign of the delta G will tell you. For a reaction, if it is negative, then the reaction is spontaneous. If the reaction is not negative, then it is non-spontaneous. More negative, more spontaneous. Less negative, less spontaneous. More positive, more non-spontaneous. That is only required. Okay. It is the heat of the reaction. What it is? Heat of the reaction. Okay. So heat of the reaction will be heat of the reaction. Okay. If it is negative, that means it is a exothermic. That is going to be exothermic. Okay. And it is very basic thing I am telling you. That's why I will speed up so that the actual concept must be understood. Okay. So if a reaction is exothermic, then the delta H is going to be minus. Okay. And the main concept which is applied here and required here to understand in depth is delta S. Okay. So delta S is called as entropy. Delta S is called as what? Entropy. Entropy is simply measure of randomness. Okay. Measure of randomness. Measure of randomness. Okay. So if you convert something into solid to liquid, liquid to gas, solid to liquid, liquid to gas, the entropy will increase. Entropy will what? Increase. Okay. So if entropy increases, then delta S is going to be positive. So this much is the background knowledge of thermodynamics required for clear understanding of Ellingham diagram. This is not a part of the Ellingham diagram, but this much background knowledge I expect every student to have so that Ellingham diagram can be understood clearly. Okay. So Ellingham diagram is based upon which equation? Gibbs-Helmholtz equation. What is that equation? Delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. Delta H minus T delta S. Okay. And what is delta G? Free energy change. And for a better reaction, delta G value must be negative. Delta G value must be what? Negative. Okay. Second thing is delta H. Delta H is negative for a reaction, exothermic, and positive for endothermic. Okay. Only required concept I am revising. There are a lot of things you can study about the delta H, but not required here. Okay. And delta S is entropy. It will increase when substance convert from solid to liquid, and liquid to gas. Is it understood, students? Now let us start with the actual concept for which we are here. What is that concept? Ellingham diagram. Okay. So Ellingham diagram is basically a graph. Okay. What is Ellingham diagram? Ellingham diagram is basically a graph. Okay. Ellingham diagram is basically a graph. Okay. So for every graph, what we require? We require two parameters. What we require? Two parameters. Okay. So Ellingham diagram is a graph drawn by. Ellingham diagram is a graph drawn by taking delta G on y-axis. Okay. Delta G on what? Y-axis. Ellingham diagram is a graph drawn by taking delta G on y-axis and temperature on x-axis. Okay. Temperature on x-axis. Okay. Simply two things you should remember. Okay. Delta G on y-axis and temperature on x-axis. Delta G on y-axis, temperature on x-axis. That graph is called as a Ellingham diagram. Okay, and for this reaction we use, suppose x moles of metal. Normally all metal will be solid only, except which metal? Mercury. Except which metal? Mercury. Okay, so metal plus when it is reacted with the oxygen, which is in gaseous state. Metal is a solid, it reacts with oxygen and it forms a metal oxide. Okay, let us take M2OX, and metal oxides are also solids. See, I am highly specific about the states because it is going to affect in understanding. Okay, so X moles of metal react with 1 mole of, one more thing you should remember, always this must be 1 mole only. Okay, the number of moles of oxygen must be how many? Only 1 mole. For every reaction of the graph is constructed for 1 mole only. You can change this into fraction, no problem. But number of moles of oxygen must be 1 mole. And whatever the metal oxide is formed, this is also solid, this is also solid. Okay. Now, let us come to the thermodynamics of this reaction. Okay. Simply, it is just oxidation or not combustion. Okay. So metal undergoes combustion like carbon plus oxygen, carbon dioxide, metal plus oxygen, metal oxide. Now you know that the combustion reactions are exothermic. Okay. Now you understand why I told you combustion. Okay, why I told you negative. So for a combustion reaction, delta H will be what? It will be negative. Delta H will be negative because it is a combustion in this reaction. Okay. Now tell me about the delta S. Okay. For this reaction, delta S is sign I wanted. Now positive or negative. Okay. So how to identify physical states? So if I am giving something more time, that means this is more important. Okay. More important, not only the exam point of view, more important to understand the future points. Okay. So here solid, gas and gas. So product is only solid, but reactant solid, sometimes liquid also. Like if it is a mercury, then at time it will be liquid and gas. So we are moving from the gas to the solid. So entropy will be decreasing. Entropy will be decreasing. So that time delta S will be negative. Delta S will be negative. Okay. So for this reaction, we are going to construct a graph. Okay. So all this information are required for Ellingham diagram. For what diagram? Ellingham diagram is drawn for this reaction, and these are the parameter taken on y-axis. This is the parameter taken on x-axis. These are the signs of the delta S. Okay, are you ready for understanding the graph now? So we will construct this graph. Okay. So once constructing the graph, this is the y-axis. Okay, better I will write the reaction over here. Delta G is equal to, okay, so why I written? So I have written, actually I told you something, I have written something. Okay. Value wise it is same. Only thing I have changed their position. Okay. What I told you, delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. Okay. But what I have written minus T delta S, just I have written here delta H that side. Okay. So why it I have done like that, you are going to understand now. Okay. Now I am going to compare. See, this delta S just now I told you negative or not. Okay. This negative and already one negative is there. This total term is going to be positive. What it is going to be? Positive. Okay. Now, this delta H, what I told you, exothermic. Therefore, it is a negative. Okay. So now you understand y is equal to, this is m, and this only delta s is going to be x, and what is delta h? It is going to be c. Okay, so this is going to be a straight line only when I take delta g on y-axis. Okay, what I have to take? Delta g. What is delta g here? On y-axis. Delta g, already I told you, it is the Gibbs free energy of the reaction. What is that reaction? Reaction also I will write over here. Metal plus oxygen will give you metal oxide. Okay, so this reaction, and x moles, it is mx M2OX. Okay, M2OX for this reaction delta G. Okay, delta G is for that reaction, and for what I told you, one more thing, 1 mole oxygen only. Oxygen should be how many moles? 1 mole. Okay. Now normally zero starts from here, but here zero does not start from here. Zero starts from here. Okay, you can cross check with the NCRT. There is a big diagram is given and complicated diagram. You need not to mug up that complicated diagram. You will, if it is there in the examination, that same diagram will be given. Recently given in the entrance examination, same graph is copy pasted from the NCRT and given to it. Only thing you should be able to understand. What you should do, you should be able to understand what is given. Okay, now see here, this is minus 1200, minus 1100, like that. Here it will be 0. Sorry, here it will be 0, minus 100, minus 200, minus 300, like that. Okay, 0 will not start from here. Now you tell me, this is negative, intercept. What is negative? Intercept is negative, like this. This is the negative. Okay. Now, as we come down, it will be more negative value. As we come down, it will be more negative value. Okay. So this is negative. Now I should move up or down. How I will come to know? Positive. Okay. So this slope is positive. Understood? So this is the graph for it. Okay. Now what is the reaction? Just here I told you, mx moles of metal react with 1 mole of oxygen to form M2OX. This is the positive slope. Okay. Now slope is equal to minus delta S. What is slope here? Slope over here is minus delta S. Okay. Minus delta S is the slope, because minus already there, delta S will be minus, minus into minus plus. This is going to give you slope. Okay. So in the exam, this is what is this value, this is the delta H value. What it is? Delta H value. Okay. So this is the thermodynamics of the Ellingham diagram. Okay. Ellingham, and what I have to take is temperature. What I have to take over here is temperature. Okay. So this is the Ellingham diagram basics. Ellingham diagram is a graph drawn by taking delta G on y-axis, temperature on x-axis. And delta G will not start from 0, some negative value. 0 will be somewhere on the top. And the slope, why it is positive, is it understood? Because entropy decreases. Why entropy decreases? It is changing from gases to solid, from where to where? Solid. Okay. Now, how the questions will be framed over it? Okay. So I will give you one model question. Okay, this is the question. Okay, and here it is. Now see here, this is the graph you will be given with. Okay, so here zinc it is increasing, but after a certain temperature there is a sharp increase. Okay, what is the temperature? 1150. 1150. Okay, so example I am taking, it may be somewhere nearby value also that you have to go through the examination point of view. Okay, so 1150 Kelvin. Now, why it is that there is a sharp increase? Okay, so this is for zinc. Now, if I write here, zinc plus oxygen gives zinc oxide. Okay, for balancing 2, and here it is 2. Is it understood? So, up to this temperature, actually what happens, it is a solid. Okay, so solid get cancelled, only that entropy change will be only because of the gas. Okay, but after this 1150, actually 1150 is the melting point. What it is? It melting point. So after this, what I have to write? 2 into Zn. Now I have to write liquid. Okay, plus oxygen, and it is going to give zinc oxide. Okay, so here entropy delta S is increasing or decreasing? Here earlier only gas and solid. Now here it is gas and liquid. So entropy will be increasing. What will be increasing? Entropy will be increasing because solid is now converted into liquid. So entropy of a liquid is more than the solid. Entropy of a liquid is more than the solid. That's why there will be sharp increase. Okay. So the selenium diagram even can be used for calculating the melting point. What you can find out? Melting point. Okay. So from this graph, what you can say, 1150 is a melting point of zinc. Okay. Now what will be 1363? 1363 is going to be melting point of what? Magnesium, because here increase is there, but sharp increase is the 1363. So why it is a increasing, why sharp increase is there is understood. Now don't think that wherever it is increasing, that is always melting point. Okay, now let us take the mercury. It is increasing at 630 Kelvin. So if it is 630 Kelvin, it is increasing. So what does it mean? Is it a melting point? No. At that place, it is a boiling point, because already it is in liquid state. Okay. So whenever there is a phase change, if it is a liquid and sharp increase is there, that is the boiling point. If it is a solid, sharp increase is there, that is the melting point. Okay. So likewise, sharp increase or decrease will be indicating you a phase change. It can be from solid state to liquid state to gaseous state. Like in case of the mercury, liquid to gas. For zinc, it is solid to liquid. Okay, that melting and boiling point also can be determined from the Ellingham diagram. Okay, now sometimes it is not possible that every time it will be a line in the going up. Sometimes it may be line going down also. Okay, so let us take some lines will be straight line, some line will be like this, some line will be like this. Okay, so when it will be like this, when it is like this, I will take an example. Okay, C plus O2 gives CO2, first reaction. Okay, the slope, what is the deciding factor of the slope? C plus O2 gives CO2, CO plus half O2 gives CO2. Okay, now what is the next one? CO, C plus half O2 gives CO. Okay, so these are the three reactions. Okay, now let us take graph A, graph A, graph B, and graph C. Okay, this is the reaction 1, this is the reaction 2, this is reaction 3. So three lines are there, three equations are there. You have to identify them. What you have to do? Identify them. Which graph corresponds to what? As I told you, this is based upon that delta G is equal to this is minus delta S T. Okay, T delta S plus delta H. Okay, so all are combustion reactions only. So this is minus only, but less minus, more minus, that is immaterial. Okay, that is immaterial. So I will write line like this. Delta G is equal to minus delta S into T plus delta H. Okay, now this is the deciding factor. This is the deciding factor. Okay, so let us take here, it is solid, it is gas, it is gas. Okay, 1 mole of gas, 1 mole of gas. You forget about the solid, it is not going to affect much. So that means slope is going to be 0 because gas is converting to gas. Entropy change is 0. So that means B line is corresponds to equation 1. B line corresponds to what? Equation 1. Okay. Second, coming to the next part. CO plus half O2. This is also gas. This is also gas. And this is also gas. Okay. How many moles of gas product are there? 1 mole. How many moles of reactants are there? 1.5 mole. Okay. So 1.5 mole is converting into 1 mole. 1 minus 1.5. Okay. So entropy is decreasing. Entropy is decreasing, so this value will be positive. So this graph, this line corresponds to second equation. Okay, entropy is decreasing, minus into minus, it is going to be positive slope. And coming to here, whether it is applicable here also, we should check or not. So half mole of gas is converted into 1 mole of gas. So delta S is what? Positive. Positive into negative, it is negative. So that means this graph is corresponds to equation 3. Okay. So when a line is coming down, that is partial oxidation, partial combustion of carbon. When a line is going top, okay, going upwards, what does it mean? It shows that it is a uh, complete combustion of carbon monoxide. If it is a flat, it is complete combustion of carbon to carbon dioxide. Okay, so this is how we will study about the Ellingham diagram. Okay, so Ellingham diagram is basically graph drawn by taking delta G on y-axis and temperature on x-axis. It uses a Gibbs Helmholtz equation. Which equation? Gibbs Helmholtz equation. Where it is used? It is used whether a given reactant, a given substance, if it undergoes, if it is forms oxide or not, and at what temperature we should maintain. Okay. So higher the temperature. Now how to find out feasibility? Okay. So this is some graph for the metal oxide. Okay, what is the reaction? M plus O2 gives MO2. Okay, now this is, let us take 0 degree. This is 0 degree. Okay, so 0 degree it is able to reach at some temperature. Okay, so let us take T Kelvin or some T Kelvin. After this delta G is going to be what? Positive. That means this reaction is non-spontaneous. This reaction is what? Non-spontaneous. Okay. So that means that time this reaction will be taking place. That means we have to heat that metal beyond this temperature. So when you maintain above this temperature, that metal oxide is immediately converted to metal and oxygen. You are going to get the metal. Why Ellingham diagram is used, understood? At what temperature, till at what temperature we have to heat a metal oxide so that this reaction, above this reaction, this is spontaneous, this will become non-spontaneous. So that is the application of the Ellingham diagram. Okay, all of you must have understood. If you got still any doubts, you can send me a message in the comment section. Okay, I hope you will be able to understand this concept and attend all questions related to this. Thank you being with me.